At the end of World War II, 80 million people had lost their lives. The war caused hardship, but it also caused change. This is the story of the Non-Aligned Monument. The end of World War II brought many changes, but our story begins with two changes in particular: the collapse of the colonial system and the rise of two new superpowers, the United States of America, USA, and the Soviet Union, officially the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, USSR. Suddenly, new countries were being born, right when there was a shift in global domination. The Non-Aligned Movement, NAM, was created at the crossroads of these events. The rise of these two new world powers was bound to create friction. And it did. Once allies in World War II, the US and the Soviet Union became rivals, both seeking to prevent the other from gaining too much power. This period of tension between them became known as the Cold War.
This is the first intercontinental conference of colored peoples, so-called colored peoples, in the history of mankind.
In 1955, 29 Asian and African countries came together at the Bandung Conference to address global politics. Many of these countries had just gained independence and argued that developing nations should not pick sides with either superpower. Instead, they believed the developed world should join together in support of their right to self-governance against all forms of colonialism and imperialism. 6 years later, in 1961, the Non-Aligned Movement was founded and held its first conference, the Belgrade Conference, under the leadership of Josip Broz Tito of Yugoslavia, Nasser of Egypt, Nehru of India, Nkrumah of Ghana, and Sukarno of Indonesia. The Non-Aligned Movement still exists today, but unlike the United Nations or Organization of American States, the movement has no formal constitution or permanent secretariat. Guyana and other members of the movement are not permitted to enter certain international agreements or military alliances such as the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO. However, the purpose of the movement is not to be quiet or stay in the middle of international politics. Quite the opposite. Since its founding, one of the main aims of the movement is to give a voice to developing countries and encourage a unified action in world affairs. One such recent example of this was developing nations coming together and highlighting the unequal access to vaccines in a global pandemic. The Non-Aligned Monument is located in Region 4 at Company Path and Avenue of the Republic, Georgetown. The monument's neighbors include St. George's Cathedral and the National Library. Unveiled by His Excellency Mr. Arthur Chung, first President of Guyana, the monument honors the fathers of the Non-Aligned Movement and celebrates the 1972 Conference of Foreign Ministers of Non-Aligned Countries, the first of its kind to be held in Guyana. The monument is made up of 4 busts of each founding leader. Each bust was made in the country where the leader came from, in itself representing unity among the nations. They are mounted on a concrete plinth with a base made of quartz stone from the Mazaruni district. 4 jasper rocks from the Orangeuk Falls are at the front of the monument in a pool decorated with colorful stones from the riverbeds of Guyana. Although some may question the importance of the Non-Aligned Movement today, as it continues to change to fight new and old world challenges, one cannot help but admire the principles the movement was founded on, as it continues to call out the inequality among nations and, in its own words, create an independent path in world politics that would not result in member states becoming pawns in struggles between the major powers.